welcome to Bellauncinettocrafts. I am Christina, and I'm here today to do another episode of How Do I. However, this episode is going to be a little different because while I have been on the YouTube streets, one of the things that I have heard is that a lot of people don't know how to read patterns. People will share, oh, I wrote this pattern, or oh, I'm making this from a pattern, and people will be like, well, I can't make that because I don't know how to read it. Or they can look at it and see what it looks like, and they have a really good memory, and then they can recreate it based on what stitches they think there are, and it will look really similar. It may even be close to exact, but they miss out on a lot because they can't read patterns. That's not to say their work is not beautiful. It's amazing. It's stunning. But when I asked if anyone would like to learn how to read patterns, many people said yes. So down the rabbit hole I went. And I contacted Lion Brand and a couple of other companies and asked permission to share their free patterns and share how to read the patterns. So as long as I follow the rules, right? And the link for this will be down below. And state that they did give me permission, which I am stating, and it will also be in the description box below. I can share their patterns. So one of the things that I was doing as I was looking, I found this beautiful headband pattern. And it is a very simple pattern. However, one of the reasons why I chose it is because this is one of the things that they are looking for wings. So if you watch Rose Likes Crochet, they are doing items for wings for every month. And one of the months is headbands. I will put that in the video somewhere. I don't exactly remember which month it is, and I don't want to get it incorrect. So I don't remember, but it will pop up on the screen as I'm speaking because I don't remember what month it is. So I'll put it up there. Anyway, let's dive into the pattern. So when you're looking for the patterns online, it lets you choose beginner, intermediate, so forth and so on Lion Brand. So I just went with a beginner pattern because I wanted to start very simply. Because a lot of the patterns are alike in the way that they're set up. But trying to read a complicated pattern isn't going to be helpful if you don't know how to read a pattern at all. All right, so this is a free crochet pattern. It's the crochet bow headband, and each of the patterns that I'll share, and I'm only going to do one per video, has the designer on it as well. So this one is Miwa Gemini. So we'll get rid of that page there. So it does tell you skill level beginner, and most of the patterns, the very first page is often instructions for what size yarn you need, what size hook you need, how big is the item going to be, and gauge is important in a lot of patterns. It's not for this because you're going by head size, but then it also will give you notes. So the headband is worked in 3 separate pieces that are sewn together. Now, one thing that I've noticed about Lion Brand patterns is their abbreviations are at the end. So that is helpful to know if you're trying to read a Lion Brand pattern, is that the abbreviations are at the end, so you don't go looking for them. But when I write patterns, my abbreviations will go up here with all of the rest of the instructions. That's a personal choice. People do it differently. I have seen other patterns where things are written, abbreviations are written at the end as well. But just for ease, I'm going to keep the abbreviations up here. So as we read through the pattern, you can see the abbreviations. Okay. So, they use SC for single crochet, CH for chain, or if it's multiple chains, the S is there. And then ST is stitch or stitches if there's an S. Okay. So I'm going to try to keep this as close as possible so you can see it. So, it tells you it should be about 18 inches unstretched. So before it's put on someone's head, it should measure about 18 inches. It tells you the type of yarn that they're using. It does not tell you necessarily the weight, but you could look that up. and it is a 6mm or American J10 hook, and then you need a darning needle. There are 3 separate pieces to this, and it gives you the instructions for all of the pieces and how to sew it together. All right, so we will get started here. I'm not going to be able to do that unless I fold it, but I will fold it like this. That works. So you can still see the abbreviations. Okay, so for the band, and that's going to be this part here that goes around the head. It's the band. You make a chain that's 18 inches long or desired length. And this is just chain like you would normally make a foundation chain. So you're just chaining until you get to 18 inches or desired length. So they don't give you a specific number here because you may be making this for a child, which would be smaller. Or you may be making it for someone who has a bigger than average size head. Average is around 21 inches. So it's going to stretch, which is why they have it for 18 inches, because it's going to, the yarn is going to stretch. But if you need it bigger than that, make it bigger than that. And then when the band is stretched, it should be long enough to wrap around your head with 3 inches or 7.5 centimeters to spare at each end. Slip stitch into the chain at the opposite end and fasten off. For the bow, that's the big part on top of your head. Okay, it's made in 2 pieces and it's sewn together. So you're going to chain 16. For row 1, you're going to single crochet, right? That's the SC there. You're going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So not the one that's on the hook. The one that's on the hook does not count as a chain. So then you're going to count 1 and then 2. And in that one, the second one there, you are going to single crochet. And then in each stitch across until you have 15 single crochets. See, 15 SC, that's 15 single crochets. Row 2, chain 1 and turn, single crochet in each stitch across. So single crochet SC, ST stitch, single crochet in each stitch across. Okay, and you're going to repeat this row 2, until the piece measures about 7 inches or 18 centimeters from the beginning. So it does not give you a certain number of rows because, again, this could be for a child or something like that. So you could be making it bigger or smaller, but this is roughly the size that you want. Okay. For the center of the bow, let me get those abbreviations back down there for you. You're going to chain 4, right? CH, chain 4. Row 1, single crochet, SC, in the second chain from the hook, and in each of the next 2 chains. So it has the CHS, which is chains. All right. And then you'll have 3 single crochets when you finish. Your row 2, so the next row, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and single crochet, SC, single crochet, in each stitch across, ST stitch. Repeat row 2 until the piece measures about 3 inches or 7.5 centimeters from the beginning. Fasten off and cut the yarn, leaving a long tail for sewing. Okay, so now you're going to put them together. So we don't need the abbreviations anymore. You're going to wrap the bow center around the bow, around the center of the bow. So you're going to find the middle of the block that you made here. You're going to find the middle, and you're going to wrap this little thin piece that you've made around it. Okay. Thread the yarn tail that you left off here, this long tail. Thread the yarn tail into the needle and sew the center in place. So you're going to sew it around the bow to make that middle piece there. And then you're going to take the assembled bow and sew it to the center of the band. Or you could sew it lopsided if you wanted, depending on how you want it to sit on the head. Okay? Because it's going to literally circle your head in the back, so you will have that on the top. Okay? Now, I did not do this where I was doing it along with you because I did not want to make it an incredibly long video. So I can do that if you would wish on another pattern. But I wanted to do this first before I did a different one where I got yarn and did all of that together. But if that's something that you would like for me to do, I certainly can. I do have permission from other companies as well to share how to read their patterns and how they would work, provided I follow their instructions, right? So I can do another Lion Brand pattern, or I can do one from another company that I have permission for to share. So if you like this, if this is something you would like to continue to see, I can do some of the more difficult patterns. I can do some of the graphs, things like that. If you would like to see those, just let me know and we will go from there. All right. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. I greatly appreciate you coming in. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad that you found me. And if you've been here for a while, I appreciate you coming back. As always, be the change you wish to see in the world. Ciao, Bella.